Welcome back. Well, we have Dr. Shivali Panchal Gruer here, who is here on behalf of OC Vitality. Well, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Lisa. It's great being here in studio.
Yeah, and I know you just walked across the courtyard to get over here, which is nice because you're super close.
We did. We had a nice little track over.
That is great. Well, thanks for joining us in the studio. And we have talked to you guys before via Zoom, but never here in the studio. So let's go ahead and just tell the audience a little bit about yourself and OC Vitality.
Okay, yeah. I'm Dr. Shivali Panchal Gruer. I'm one of 2 clinical directors in the office. And we target complex cases. We're known as Orange County's third opinion. A lot of times we get patients that come in that have exhausted their opportunities. They've tried doctor after doctor, treatment after treatment, and not really getting anywhere. And so we really, really focus on getting people back living and doing things that they love.
Is the majority of what you do from a homeopathic standpoint, or how would you describe, I mean, if somebody's coming to you after everything else has been exhausted, what would be your description? Is it an alternative?
Yeah, so we do acupuncture and integrative medicine.
Okay.
And so that encompasses so many different things. Now, traditional acupuncturists can look like so many different things. Someone might have had acupuncture, say, 10, 15 years ago for a sore knee or a sprain or something like that. The science has changed over the years. It's such a time-tested science where it's been around for over 5,000 years. That's a long time. There's a lot of data there.
Right.
But the difference is we're really incorporating how the nervous system is engaged. We're using a lot of neuroscience, how the brain, the nervous system, and the body's connected. So we're using a modern approach to a very time-tested, holistic science.
Okay. Well, today we're talking about fibromyalgia, and you know, that's a lot to do with your extremities on your fingers and toes and a variety of different areas in our body. Tell me a little bit about what that is.
Lisa, that is a loaded question. Fibromyalgia looks like so many different things. One day it could be a massive migraine. The next day it could be arm pain. Wow, I just feel like it's a dull and achy pain and it's just not going away. The next day could be calf pain. It could keep you up in the middle of the night, have restless leg.
Wow.
And it could cause insomnia. It could cause digestive issues. There's so many things with fibromyalgia.
And I thought that it was really had to do with, you know, blood circulation. Is it blood circulation?
Well, that's part of it. So part of it is, you know, our blood is coursing through our entire body and it's nourishing everything. But fibromyalgia is a disorder that targets connective tissue. And connective tissue is our ligaments, our tendons, our muscles, even our eyes. Our eyes are connective tissue. So a lot of times fibromyalgia patients will have very dry eyes and they're going to, you know, see their optometrist or ophthalmologist and they're getting these eye drops, they're getting LASIK, they're getting all of these things because their eyes are starting to degenerate because there isn't much moisture with the eyes.
Wow.
So that's how the tissue starts decomposing.
Wow. Now, what made you guys start to focus on fibromyalgia?
Well, personal story. So I experienced fibromyalgia in my late 20s. I was in medical school. That in itself was very rigorous. Classes from 8 a.m. till 10 p.m., Monday through Friday. Also at home, I was taking care of a mentally ill mother, and she required a lot of care, taking her back and forth between appointments. And I just felt like the circus clown juggling so many different things. And at some point, something had to give. And what gave was me. I just was exhausted. I couldn't think straight. I just was always tired. That's something that's one of so there's 18 trigger points with fibromyalgia, which is different types of pain syndromes, pain points. But the main thing that's recognizable is something called Fibro Fog. And that's this brain fog. It's just, it almost feels like your brain and your body's disconnected. It's like you're trying to catch up with yourself. And something else comes in and you're trying to still catch up. And it could lead someone to feel very uncomfortable, panic attacks, anxiety. Those are really common symptoms. It's just, you know, what do you do with anxiety? Oh, now I have depression, and now you're taking medication. So it's just this constant cycle. And so that's what I had experienced. And it took me 10 years to really figure out what it was that was happening. Back then, there wasn't the term fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
And so I was just running from physician to physician. I grew up in the East Asian culture, so I was directed to a lot of alternative therapies, and that's actually what started getting things changed.
Yes.
There's a gut component, so a lot of times, we have digestive issues, but we're not correcting that, and so that can be the catalyst for a lot of things as well. So I was put on really good, herbal medicines, really good dietary programs. I had to do sleep training and stress management, and just different types of care.
So you mentioned the fog, which could be really misconstrued to be something else. Right? And many of us probably think, oh, well, it'll go away. But then you also mentioned going to your doctor and being prescribed maybe a medication for depression or anxiety, right? But this really could potentially be taken care of in an alternative way.
It really can. And just imagine feeling misunderstood.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to tell somebody that you're not feeling good, but you look perfect on the outside. But that's a lot of it. It's a silent illness. And so a lot of people feel unheard, unrecognized, and even shunned a lot of times. And so they start, feeling guilty. They start feeling that maybe there's something wrong with them, and they start feeling isolated. And that's where it can really start affecting relationships and just relationships with partners and children and parents, and just in the workplace too. It's just, there's a constant needing to prove something, and that is one of the biggest struggles, is not feeling understood.
Super frustrating, I'm sure. That is definite. Now, so you mentioned a lot of different things that could go on with fibromyalgia, but what is the most common, and how would you treat it?
So that's tricky again, because it looks like so many different things. But I would say the most common that would come in is, there's usually 4 things. There's some kind of pain, and it's here one day, it's here the next day, oh, I have a headache. And then there is that brain fog, which is, I just don't feel like I could think straight.
Okay.
There is some kind of sleep issue. So it's like, insomnia, or just waking up 4 or 5 times in the middle of the night because that leg just doesn't stop, acting up. And then there is some kind of digestive issue, whether it be GERD, acid reflux, it could be, colitis, those types of things, so that can manifest too. So usually comes in as 4 different things, and that's where, someone claims himself as being maybe a hot mess.
Yeah.
And we love our hot messes. We love to take care of them.
And then the treatment that you would normally provide them for something like this?
So we do acupuncture. Some people are afraid of needles. So now we're looking at fibromyalgia, so it's all about the nerves. So if someone is even sensitive to touch, maybe a needle might not be the right start point. So then we will do a secondary treatment first, which could look like ATP Resonance Therapy. That is a lot of small currents that are run in a program, and it helps. It's kind of like updating your software, so all of our tissue and our cells are getting updated. They're getting better oxygen, better blood flow, and over time a person starts feeling better and better. It's like, oh, I feel less stiff today, or I actually was able to sleep through the night, or I got 3 extra hours of sleep even. And so then we start building on that momentum, and then we'll start introducing acupuncture into the mix. We might order some labs to isolate a few things too. We also do functional work. So we might introduce do some labs to isolate, maybe there are some gut bugs that shouldn't be there that's causing leaky gut, which is a lot of times part of it. So we'll start correcting that. We'll do the therapy in the office. So it's kind of a collective system of things that we do. It depends on each case.
So what if somebody wanted to come in and they wanted you to give them an evaluation? Can you do that?
Absolutely. So that's what that consultation is.
Gotcha.
So what we do is we meet with each person, sit with them, go over the specifics of their case. Each story, Lisa, looks so different.
Yeah, I bet.
And it's amazing to see these people finally show up. They've lost so much hope, but they've actually taken that action to come in and be heard. And so, we'll have that consultation, we'll look at everything that's happened, and we'll see a lot of patterns. There are a lot of patterns that play out, and we'll build a really good strategy. For me, and with fibromyalgia specifically, we need a strategy, because every minute is out of control, every day is out of control. So if we can have something that we can anchor to, which is a strategy, then at least we know we're going to get somewhere.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for the information.
Thank you so
I appreciate
much.
you coming in.
Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome. If you want more information about what we've just discussed, or you would like a consultation, you can go to ocvitality.com, or you can call them at 949-215-1957. We'll be right back.